As a teacher of students with learning differences, I often hear about the things that these students cannot do. The week before Thanksgiving, however, 18 students took on the additional challenge of helping others. I was lucky enough to chaperone these students as we assisted multiple organizations that helped refugees from Hurricane Dorian. At the Humane Society of the Bahamas, our students divided into the dog lovers and the cat people. Students walked dogs and snuggled kitties. We were amazed to see that over 200 animals, in various conditions, arrived from the two islands, Abaco and Grand Bahama. Our students immediately fell in love with multiple animals. Amanda S., for instance, met Holiday Monday, a brown, bushy-tailed dog. She would have gladly stuffed her new dog friend into her bag and snuck her back to the States. The following day, our students visited the Ranfully Home for Children. The Vanguard students were taken aback to see the inside of the dorms. 8 sets of bunk beds slept 16 children, as the home had been taken in double their occupancy, with the refugees arriving from the islands. Robert commented that the orphanage was, quote, as real as it gets, because the kids only had beds and books. They did not even have a TV, he noted. It was cramped and cluttered, as donations have arrived from the community, forcing the home to compact all their supplies into public areas. Our students removed old plaster from a wall in preparation for a renovation. The home requires additional beds for the new arrivals and plans to modify an outdoor space into living quarters. One new room will be the library. Vanguard students organized themselves into an assembly line as they clean and categorize donated books. From there, we headed to the Blairwood Academy for Autism. We arrived at our sister school's lunch hour. Matthew, Ms. Valdez, Gage, Mr. Allen, and Adam joined into a big game of basketball. Others enjoyed keep away or tossing around a football. Nathaniel, Robert, and Henry teamed up with a group of Blairwood students to start a garden. They broke up rocks and planted flowers. Henry enjoyed using a pickaxe for the first time, but commented on how cool the kids at Blairwood Academy were. Nathaniel said it was a challenge to learn about setting up a garden. Ethan and Jacob worked with the elementary school-aged kid and played Simon Says. Our school day ended with students reading aloud to classes. I was so impressed that students volunteered to read. That evening, we walked to the beach and cleaned up. Of course, Mr. Allen and I cannot stand to miss an opportunity for a competition. We challenged the kids to find the largest item, the most amount of plastic forks and straws, the heaviest bag, and my personal favorite, the weirdest item. Melissa and Mario found a huge truck tire and spent nearly an hour trying to dig it out of the sand. They were unsuccessful. However, Ms. Valdez found a boat. Yes, a boat. I turned our experience into a science lesson, stopping to show the students washed up coral, sponges, urchins, and sea fans. Who knew that hunting for trash would be such a highlight of the trip for me? Our last day was spent at the Salvation Army. We were introduced to the major in charge of the feeding center for the Hurricane Dorian refugees. We set up 2 rooms of assembly lines. Students took a bag and added an item to it before handing it down the row. Another competition presented itself. Mrs. Mifsud and I had 1 room, and we completed packing over 460 bags, while the other room did somewhere under 400. So I smack-talked Mr. Allen for the rest of the day. I was so impressed. Melissa, Amanda S., Adam, and Matthew took charge. They restocked items to place in the bags without being asked. Their initiative made me proud, but alarmed the Salvation Army members. They were not expecting the speed and efficiency of our students that they displayed as they packed bags. So in less than 45 minutes, we'd packed nearly 1,000 bags of groceries. The Salvation Army gave us a tour of their school for the blind. Our students were fascinated by their Braille library, and Chris enjoyed reading a little kid's book about a puppy. After touring the school, we were happy to meet their students and join them for lunch. During lunch, the choir sang. Gage remembered that the school chorus serenaded us with a song of worship, which was religious by its own right. The choir's lead's passion and devotion were apparent as she engulfed our ears in the glory of her faith. He claims it was the highlight of his experience. Overall, the students worked hard and had fun. I was so happy to spend time with them outside the classroom. They're an extraordinary group of young people, and those folks who say people with learning differences are unable to do things are wrong.